Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a live episode of Life with Sharon Midday Motivation. Today is, what is it? Wednesday, Tuesday? It's Tuesday, the 10th of May, 2022. It's a great day to be alive and well. And today we have a great guest today, Dr. Toni Damon. And she is a high school administrator. And she has done some great things in this community and the community that she came from in Philly before. But I'm going to let her tell you all about that when we get into the heart of the matter. But again, this is Life with Sharon, Midday Motivation. Please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and share the feed. Put any comments and questions you want on the feed so we can answer your questions if we can. And now let's get to the heart of the matter because Dr. Toni is on her lunch break. And so we want to make sure we can squeeze in as much as we can for this 15, 20 minutes that we have that she's dedicated to us today. So welcome, Dr. Toni Damon. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much for having me on.
Not a problem. It's Entrepreneurs Week. And so I wanted to have people on who have experience in that area. And you have a little bit of a different story. That's why I want to have you on. So you were once a business owner / entrepreneur, and now you are an educator. Tell the audience why the transition and how that transition was.
So, here's the interesting thing. When I was in high school, I always wanted to be a teacher. And then just as the barriers, challenges of life, I became a hairdresser. I did manage to become a cosmetology teacher to marry those two worlds. But what I soon learned was through keep running a business and teaching cosmetology is that even greater still, I wanted to influence the field, influence the market, because there was just so much more about entrepreneurship that I didn't know, that I wanted to become a career and technical education educator and administrator. And that's what I did.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So, that sounds like how we can give someone something, but if we teach them how to do it, it'll be a more of a lifelong, right? Something that they
Absolutely.
can do, and
Mm.
therefore it actually bodes well for them. So
Mhm.
you wanted to influence that genre. That is
Yeah,
awesome. That is
yeah.
so wonderful. And we need more people. We need more pioneers like yourself who want to take that journey to be able to have some major input, if you will, with our young people. So that's awesome. So tell us, how do you like being an educator? How is it being an educator?
So I absolutely love it. I mean, I realize that we're in educator, administrator shortage. Times have changed, but I wouldn't change it for anything in the world because I get a chance to meet some of the most amazing young people, our future leaders, our future entrepreneurs. And again, I go back to I have a chance to help influence that. And so I get a chance to meet young people when they have these hopes, when they have these dreams, these aspirations, and they're not yet jaded. And then I can help, direct them, motivate them, encourage them, connect them to others. So I'm
Right.
absolutely loving the work that I'm doing.
Molding young minds, right?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about, let's break it down into two categories, the entrepreneurship journey as well as the educator journey. Tell us some of the highlights, if you will, some lessons that were learned along the way, highlights and lowlights, like what you would tell those who are in the entrepreneur lane, especially in the industry that you were in. What are some of the things to look out for, and what are some of the things that are that's just great and wonderful why you were in the industry in the first place
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing. I know that they say that you're supposed to find your passion and you go after it, but when you're talking about business, having a love for something and you may be good at it is just not enough, right? It
Right.
is business. And so I was what I thought was good at styling hair. I was good with people. I had a nice clientele. But what I've learned very quickly as I decided to open up a business was that was not enough. You need to have some capital, right? Some
Mhm.
people don't even know what that term means. Uh,
Yeah.
you need to have good credit if you want to either buy a building or rent a building. You need to have some business sense. It's not just about the type of business and know about that. Because one thing that I didn't know is just putting up a sign. I had to have a business privilege license and all of these things. I had to run downtown. and get all of these different license and inspection, airtime. And I'm thinking I'm not on the air, but it's just to have your sign up in the air.
Right.
We're not even going to talk about taxes, right? If you are a business and you're paying people and you're not doing independent contractors, and those were terms that I had to learn about,
Mm-hmm.
you then either need to know something about taxes, or then you have to hire somebody. And then you have to hire
Right.
somebody that you can trust. I mean, this was such a learning experience for me. But if you are passionate about it, what I would always say, and I tell the young people now, take a class or two in business while
Mm-hmm.
you are building up your clientele, right? And
Right.
then when you're ready to truly open and get out there, you know something about being in business and not just about the business you're doing. But I absolutely loved it. I mean, hair was my passion. It got me to where I'm at now. Look, it's how we met, right?
Right, right.
You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You did my
absolutely.
hair wonderfully back in the day. You did my hair for my wedding
I
day.
did. I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it can be the greatest opportunity, but what I can say about that is, and I did hair throughout my 20s and I had my business for a little over 5 years. But what I will say is, there comes a time where you have to make decisions. And I wanted, based on what I was seeing from being a business owner, I thought I would be better served if I could help build and generate the next leader, the future leaders of America, of our community.
Right. I think that is so key. And I think that you're right. We have to invest in our young people.
Mhm.
And so, I commend you for what you have done. And the tips that you just gave regarding what it really takes to run a business,
Yes.
especially a brick and mortar business,
Mhm.
people aren't really talking about that. Like you said, some people don't even know what capital is.
Right.
And all the ins and outs and the nuances that we don't see. We just see the glamour,
Right.
right? The people
Mhm.
coming in and out, oh wow, she must be doing really well. But all the things that you have to do behind the scenes to make it look
Mhm.
glamorous, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So now let's take it over into the educator.
Mhm.
What needs to happen for someone to be like you with young people, education wise, as well as some things to look out for and some things that, having a passion for what it is that you do?
So I'm gonna first start with career and technical education.
Okay.
And so first off, let me say it is no longer like the old Votech. I don't know if you remember the movie Grease Lightning. They
Yes.
used to think about is for the people like the beauty school dropout. No, definitely not that at all. Or the mechanic, right?
Right.
You take your car into the shop now. An oil change is not an oil change that it was 20 years ago. They plug your car up to something and they can tell you everything. So you have to be able to read really highly technical manuals. You need to be skilled in technology. So career and technical education is really grown. So people should
Mm-hmm.
not be ashamed of that. But you have other individuals who are in all of these fields, like biomedical technology, the medical careers, STEM, STEAM, even theater, music, all of these areas that we have these professionals who could certainly go in, take some time based on your years of experience. If you decide you want to give back and learn, yes, you will have to go back to school, but you can start to be a teacher now and help to build that profession that you love so much. You help build the pipeline. And I can tell you that in career and technical education, it is so hard to find individuals who really want to give back to the community and build their pipeline.
So not finding many people wanting to do that. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When you think about the construction trades, right?
Yeah.
Hospitality industry, people are so, I guess, enjoying what they're doing. And then they look at the children today, right? Education
Right.
is hard.
Right.
Guess what? Life is hard. But if you don't think about those young people, think about this. You have to go to the bank. You have to walk to your car. You have to live in your house. If you don't want to prepare those young people today to be professionals,
Right.
they either want to be professionals in a good sense or professional in the bad sense. And then you're going to have a
Right.
challenge when you walk to the bank and go to your car and live in your house.
Exactly. And the youth are our future,
They
right?
are.
So I totally wholeheartedly agree with you. I believe we need to bridge the gap, and this has always been the case, but even more so now, bridge the gap between the younger people and the those of us with some age on us, bringing that wisdom and that youth and that energy together. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because that's when you have the best of both worlds.
You do.
And so it's disheartening, even though I agree with you because I see it as well, but it's disheartening to know that people are we live in such an I time,
Mhm.
rather than a we time that we used to live in, like it takes a village to raise
Does.
the children. And
Mhm.
but hopefully, with those people such as yourself, the mindset will start to shift as
Mhm.
enough people see that, what, we do really need to have
Yeah.
an impact on this younger generation, because they're about to run the world, and we want
Absolutely.
them to be as intelligent and as wise, etc., as they can be.
Another
So
thing, if I
yeah,
could
go
just
ahead.
add that even entrepreneurs today, if they want to bridge that gap and may not want to be in the schools, here's another thing we need. We need internship opportunities. So whatever
Mm,
field you're in, I would imagine you're hard pressed to find employees, right? So
mm-hmm.
why not take in a young student that you could have as a mentor, a mentee? Be a mentor to someone. Tell them about the and show them about this wonderful career field that you're in. Maybe you'll inspire the next generation of that.
Right.
Schools need that as well. A lot of the cities and townships, they have these summer jobs. They are
Mm-hmm.
looking for employers. You don't even have to pay them. There's grant money from the federal government coming to the states to pay these students. You just have to be a willing employer to take in a student.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's good to know. Now, since we're here, let's park here for a second.
Hmm.
Is there some information that you can give out that you might not putting you on the spot, but that you might know right off the bat, where people can contact someone who is an employer who wants to, have a apprenticeship or internship for youth?
So, what I would say is, I remember from working in Philadelphia, the Urban Affairs Coalition
Mm-hmm.
definitely employs youth all across the city. And so, if you have a business and you're looking for students, reach out to the Urban Affairs Coalition, and they can definitely help get you connected. You can become one of the employers. Certainly, there's a background check, different things. They have to make
Of
sure you're an
course.
established business. They definitely will do that. I'm now in Cherry Hill, and I do know that the Camden County Workforce Development, they also have programs similar to that, the summer internship, and they will be also looking for employers in this area.
Okay.
So I
Excellent. Thank
think it's a
you.
wonderful opportunity.
So Tanya says, thanks for the nugget about the internship. So yes, thank you
Yeah.
so much for your comment, Tanya, and thank you for watching. So,
Yes.
Tony, let's get into one of the things that I think is stellar, just major, because you're such a pioneer, right? You are and have been the first Black female principal at Dobbins High School in
Yeah.
Philly, and now you are the first Black female principal at Cherry Hill West.
I am.
Oh my goodness. What an achievement. You have broken through two glass ceilings in the education arena. That is so awesome.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. Let me give you a hand clap.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have broken through those two glass ceilings in the high school administration arena? How does that feel?
It feels good. And the funny thing about it is I didn't go in looking to break anybody's glass ceiling, right? I was in
Right.
survival mode just like the next person. And what
Hmm.
I will say, and I try to serve as a role model for other young people, is it's not about being recognized for anything. It's about doing what you need to do, not only to survive, right? But you want to get way past that. When I think back, and even my daughter, she laughs at me because I have like several certifications in teaching. I have certification in two states. I have superintendent certification, principal, all these certifications. And she laughs. One employer told me one time I was a unicorn, right? Um, but I was just doing what I needed to do, what I thought to just not even get ahead, but to secure a job, right?
Right, right.
And so even I'll say when I got like the bachelor's degree, I only really ever wanted a bachelor's degree. But as
Mm-hmm.
I started looking, education is power, right? It does
Right,
mean more money. I went and got my master's degree. If I wanted doors to open, what I really knew in this field is you needed the doctorate, right? So I
right.
just kept going. It's not about pushing anything, but once you do that and you keep moving, keep growing, doors will open to you. Now,
Right.
what does it mean for me? What it means is I cannot be the last. It absolutely, I mean,
Yes.
I feel I have a responsibility to every young woman, every young girl that looks like me, that would aspire to be anything like me. And I don't think I'm so great, but I have that responsibility, and I'm so very proud to say that the principal at Dobbins now is an African American female. You know,
Yes.
she served
Okay.
as my assistant
Awesome.
principal, and I believe I mentored her. And when the
Mm-hmm.
time came, I felt comfortable in leaving, knowing that I had prepared that next generation. And it's my
Okay.
belief that she could take the school well beyond what I could ever do.
Okay. That was my next question about, you breaking through that ceiling. Do you think it would be easier for African American females or even females of color coming behind you? So obviously that has already happened in Philadelphia, which an urban environment. Can you speak to some? And now you're in Cherry Hill in New Jersey, South Jersey, which is a totally different environment. And so, do you think it would your presence here, being the first Black female principal at Cherry Hill West? Do you think it would be a similar response, say, once you decide to leave, that has opened up the door more easily, let's just say, for another African American female or a female of color, or is it easier in the urban environment?
So this is what I will say. At least I can speak from what I'm seeing here at Cherry Hill. We have a commitment to excellence. That's first and foremost to our children, our families, our community. The other thing is just in meeting our superintendency, from the superintendent to his entire cabinet, they are
Hmm.
committed to diversity. Um,
Okay.
so just seeing those two things, I know that it will not be hard for another woman of color to get a leadership position. Matter of fact, we have two female assistant superintendents in the district who are women of color. What
Okay.
I will also say though is the one thing that I must do is I need to operate with a spirit of excellence. If
Hmm.
I don't represent well, I'm going to represent poorly for the next woman. So that
Right.
is a burden that I do carry, and I wear that very seriously and intentionally. I make sure that I do the best that I can do at all times, so that someone won't look at me and say, "I don't want another one of her." So
Right.
that's my responsibility.
Right. I hear you. I hear you. Leticia has a comment. She said, breaking through two glass ceilings, especially in Cherry Hill School District. Yes, Leticia, you already know. so, Dr. Toni, are there any opportunities at Cherry Hill West that, for students, for people who want to work for the school? What does the school have to offer right now that may be of note?
So right now, I do know we are in hiring season. I know for July 1, and people can certainly start now looking on our website. I know we will have a secretary position open. We have two science positions open. One is for chemistry teacher. One is for a biology teacher. We also need special ed teachers. We need a special education slash English, and we need a special education slash biology. And we also need English, and we need math teachers. Now, that's not because we are losing teachers. Our
Mhm.
teachers stay, right? This is a great place to work. But what that shows is that we are growing. We
Right.
are growing, and we are excited about that. I can tell you we are moving towards a place of career and technical education here in Cherry Hill, the public schools, and I'm excited about that. So that just means more opportunities for our students, our families, and our businesses, because then we can help support, their need for employees.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Mhm.
So, can you give out the contact information or how people can look for those jobs, whether it's a job board, email address, website? How can they get in contact with someone about those opportunities?
So the easiest thing that I would say to do is, and this is what I do. I mean, certainly you can go to the website is www.chclc.org. But guess what? If not, I would just go Google Cherry Hill Public Schools and then go to our employment section and current openings and check it regularly. Like I said, we are just really getting good into the midst of our hiring season. We're doing internal transfers right now. As we fill those, then we move on and open up additional ones. But I'm only telling you what I know about Cherry Hill West.
Right.
District wide, you will see there are plenty of others. There are going to be some maintenance. There's going to be custodial leadership positions as people are retiring. I've seen we had at least a principal opening already. So I would strongly encourage folks to apply. And like I said, Cherry Hill is committed to the diversity of this growing community.
Okay. We have another comment from Leticia. Leticia said, that's key, operating in a spirit of excellence. They will remember you by that first excellent statement. Yes, absolutely. And that's how we all should operate. Because like you said, it was key, Dr. Toni, what you said. If you don't operate with the spirit of excellence, with an excellent spirit, then they're going to look side eye.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. And you'll remember that.
Black female that comes like, well, I remember what Dr. Toni did or didn't do. Right. Mm-hmm. So now, not that we should judge the next person off of what the first person did, but we're human and that's what we do.
Absolutely.
Right. So that is key. And I'm so glad that you brought that out. Is there anything else you would like to share before we go? Because I know you're on your lunch break and I don't want to go over my time. I probably already have. Anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, I just ask that people would be patient with our young people today. They are going through the same challenges that everyone else is, and our social emotional well-being is very key, and it's at risk right now. This pandemic has done so much for our world. Just keep them in mind as you see them on the bus, as you see them in the mall, on the street. I've seen when I was in Philly where people would see a group of young people and they cross the street. That speaks to them. Instead of doing that, just smile and look at them. You would be surprised at what you get, And so I think we can turn things around if we just think about someone else.
I agree. And, offline, I'm going to speak to you about some ideas I have regarding mental and behavioral health that you might be interested in at your school. So
yes, sounds good. Great. Thank you so much.
So much, Dr. Toni, for joining me today and taking out time on your precious lunch break. I so appreciate you for doing that. And I know our audience appreciates you as well. They seem to have gotten some great information from you. And so again, thank you so much. And we will be talking soon, and keep up the great and wonderful work that you do. We need you and we need more people like you. So thank you.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. We're signing off. Thank you for joining me and Dr. Toni today for Life with Sharon Midday Motivation. Join me tomorrow when I am the entrepreneur that we're talking about tomorrow. So thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a God day. God bless you. Shalom.
All right.